If you guys are going to have any questions, but it's kind of unique. He's got it in 4 quadrants. There's a training session, there's a showtime session, there's a wagon tear coming in, and then a world champion that we're going to be watching. Go ahead, Steve.
Basically, like I was saying, it's not that there's a right way or a wrong way to train horses. Everybody asks all the time, "What do you do?" So when they asked me to do this, I said, "I'll tell you exactly what we do. We work with a two-wheel cart, a leather harness, a bit, and we try to stay as light, soft bits, smooth bits. So if you don't agree with what I say, that's perfectly fine and perfectly normal. Take everything you say, go home, try it. If it doesn't work, it's not always going to work, and it might not work for you, but it works for us. So common sense always overrides everything. So what we're going to do first in the training session, we're going to bring a young horse that we've been working since, I believe.
You might have to put that thing upside the desk.
Is that better? So we've been working this horse since March of this year. We've shown him once. Actually, we just showed him the second time with the Royal. It didn't go as well, but typical young horse stuff, not his fault. I put a new ground behind him, and he's a trainer there. It's my fault. So Milan, who works everything, he's going to come in here. We're just going to do what we do. We do a lot of boring work. People come to the barns, they expect to see a horse show every day, but unfortunately, we don't do that every day. We work with it. So basically, what he's doing in here is a young horse. So usually, a horse like him, he just needs to find his feet. When I say find his feet, we try to get the horses to place their feet, know exactly where they're placing their feet. So this particular horse works in straps behind, chains up front. So there's a couple different, or stretchers up front and straps behind. So there's a couple different reasons I'll use chains or straps. So a strap is heavier. And a lot of times we're going to get a horse to lengthen his stride behind with a leather strap. With a chain, it's lighter and there's more up and down bounce. So you're going to get him to go quicker. So there is a difference between the two from the strap or stretcher on what we do. And what he's doing, he's just going in, going to around here, keep this horse. I like to try to get him to trot straight and bend their nose from the right side of the shaft to the left side of the shaft to keep that nose, to keep him from pushing on that bottle. If you can, you got to strap off. So if you can get a horse completely loose in his shoulders, you get so much motion out of him that way. You can then you can drive him through the circle. So it's all about, we go slow because and we'll walk a lot. A lot of the standard birds they walk for a while because they all know how to go fast, and they're probably not in training as a show horse. So if you got one that just doesn't want to go fast, then probably shouldn't have show training. But so what we're going to do with him, just literally what he does every day at home. He goes in circles, he bends, he stops. If he doesn't do the turn right, make him go in circles. We've got a 40-foot bullpen that most of these horses start in. This horse was worked just in a 40-foot bullpen for the first probably 3 months of his life. There are a lot of you that sound pretty crazy. We're very fortunate. We got good owners that give us time with these horses, and unfortunately, 90% of the time, that's what keeps a lot of these horses from being show horses. Is they don't ever get an owner that'll give them the time or put the money into them to get them to where they are. So another thing I wanted to talk about is bell boots or quarter boots, and then there's also hinge boots. I've got a couple horses that we just take. There's scalping boots, so there's all different kinds of boots. So I get the questions a lot on, well, a roadster boot, or what do you use for a roadster, or what's a roadster boot? Well, I always say there's no such thing as a roadster boot. They're all boots for horses, and it depends on what he needs, and then that's a roadster boot. Some of them use nothing. So a bell boot is going to get a little bit more flop. So if you want a horse to quicken up and go towards his elbow more, a bell boot is usually what you want. A quarter boot, on the other hand, is going to open one up. So it's heel weight. So it's just like you do with lead weight. We play a lot with that. Your quarter boot there's more weight on your heels, so it's going to open one up. So it's just like screwing lead in your heels. So what he's doing, literally 15 minutes a day, in the backyard, beside the road, in the barn. Um, yeah, if you show up at Lon's house, he's 90% of the time, if it's warm, he's outside. If it's cold, I guarantee he's outside. He keeps it going about 60 degrees and he's in there working his horse. But the reason he's so successful, he spends a lot of time. He's very patient, slow, slow, slow. Raymond Shively, last week we were doing that clinic with him, and you see him work these horses, and 90% of his world champions, you wouldn't get $5,000 for him to saw him working because he just puts around there. Just so he's warmed up. Let's pull that stuff off now. So what we'll actually let's check him off to the little back head. So once I get the horse super soft, round like you see he's doing, he's bending, his whole body's bending, not just his, he's not just bending his head, everything's soft. So the next step, which is kind of where we're at with this horse now, we just started checking him some, but we'll snap him up. So we'll snap them up, the draw reins. And this is another thing. There's a lot of trainers out there that say, don't use draw reins much. We do. It works for us. So, figure out what works. Yes, it's a great way to get a horse stout and bridle, but it's also just a lot more consistent in the bit. So what we'll do, the next step after they're round and soft and down, then we snap those reins up once they're warmed up, and we try to shake this horse's head up. So I set my horse's head with a marktail, not with an overcheck. It's a different concept from a lot of people, but the overcheck's there to bounce them off of. So I'll set my marktail. It's different for every horse, but we try to get this horse to wear his bridle all the way up without wearing the check. The check is just there as a reminder. If you can keep him, you can take a move. In the next slide. So we'll try to wiggle on this horse. Yeah, we're gonna need to check him a little bit more, but see how he's naturally wanting to come up. But nothing has changed underneath. Now, if you just go and crank that head up with an overcheck, you're going to lose a lot of leg movement. So all the time you spend getting them soft and getting them to place their feet, you can lose it just as quick by just checking them before they're ready. So what we're going to do, we're going to go a couple laps with this horse's head up. That's kind of the last stage of it. We keep stretches on them a lot of times. I pull the straps behind usually, but we go fast, which we're not going to go super fast with this horse today. I just wanted to do it right. But people make a little noise for let's see if he's, how ready he is to show. This is a 3-year-old that has had a little bit of work, but so just like that. We do practice that a lot. We like to keep these horses entertained. One day it's a bag, next day it's it's never the same. So we try to get these horses to work through the pressure and not lose their focus.
So this is a good time for people that have questions to come forward with questions. Be sure to ask Steve down there and he can repeat the question, answer the question. I think that's a good idea.
The question's late, man. Let me stop. Let's put that in. So the question he had on standard bred, what's your first thing you do if a horse is struggling in the turn? 99% of the sailors that show up don't know how to tie a turn yet. And what we do, I have a little bit of a different approach to it than Milan, but it works great for him. I try it, and it worked well for me. He lunges a lot. He'll run them around on lunge rope, they'll fall down, they'll trip themselves, but by the end of it, they found their feet. They know how to do it with nothing attached to the bridle. That's what he likes. And I love how it works for him. For me, I'll long line, but I do a lot. The same as I usually long line in the card. I feel like that shafts on their sides helps keep them straight. It bounces around behind, so this helps them get, in that turn. It's never going to be super consistent. If you're in showing and you've got, 10 horses in there and you're trying to pass somebody in a turn and they're calling for speed, like a lot of things have to happen in about 4 or 5 strides, so they got to be super quick on their feet. So to answer that, yes, a lot of times, we do make sure the joints, we take care of their joints and their guts very well. Because it's hard for a horse to try to turn their head also. Because their stomach gets in the way at first, they get uncomfortable and they'll start repeating the back and back. So I wall line a lot in the car, he lunges, but basically both both packets are the same. We're trying to accomplish the same thing, and that is to find his, get them to find their feet on their own. Um, and sometimes we'll take them, we'll shoot all of us and go to real tech. We work on the road sometimes. Because once they get trotting on a blacktop road at speed, they know real tech on, they're quick. Um, Sometimes they'll slip, then we really careful. But basically, anything you can do to make this horse's feet leave the ground just a little bit quicker. So that's probably good for him, Lamont. You can cheer him on as he goes out, and then we'll bring the next horse in.
So that horse there, there are a couple shares available to that horse, but Steve's going to continue to show him. Next year, the exciting part about him is Boyd said that horse will be consigned to the showcase next fall after Steve has successfully showed it. No pressure, bro.
And one of the little tunnels.
That's what I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to go too far. But there are a limited amount of shares available now to that very athletic horse. So good job there, guys. If you have questions in the back here, come up to the block, fire away. I can't answer, but I can ask those.
So the next thing is one of the things I'm probably the most picky about is how to harness the horse and the look of it. The grass doesn't clean itself, but it's got to be cleaned or I don't go in there. It just adds that extra look that you need. So on this fan, we keep the back pan. I try to go a full width of my hand from the point of her window back. What it does, it stretches this mare out. It makes her look like she's got a long neck already, but it makes her look so much longer than that. I see a lot of back beds scooted all the way up here. And my acupuncture lady, I forget the ratio, but I think for every 5 pounds of pressure on a horse's wither is like a 20 pounds of pressure on a human. So basically, if you crank the belly band down on a horse's wither, there is literally no way that that horse can roll his shoulder freely. So I feel like you can do all the work you want. If you do a poor job harnessing, your horse can't comfortably perform. Bridles. So these blinds, what I do a zip tie. You can use whatever you want. I put a zip tie around the side of my cheeks, my bridles, onto the cavity. And what that does, it keeps this blind, then I can adjust it to where it's open. Some horses don't want to use their ears very well. I'll close it down a little so they can't see as good, and it makes them use their ears. The next, you put them over their ear, over their eyes, they don't work. So just another thing to be very aware of, I guess. It can help you a lot harnessing a horse the right way. The canvassing, every horse readjusts the cats, and there's a lot of people that sound very foreign to. I like to put 2 fingers below the cheekbone to the top of the canvas. If you go higher than that, and you put your teeth against cheek, returns. Yes, that's the thing. So, then another big gripe that I've got is how far we took the hole. I don't know why we would want to make them look shorter neck than we do. So a lot of people fold that ear back and hold back all the way back there. I think that's what my grandfather did, I guess. Yeah. So that's what a lot of people do. However, if you start looking, a lot of my horses, you see they've got to put them on walks up, and that's the first thing you do. You don't ever put them down. I don't care how little it is. It just, once you get it thrown out, you'll see how much longer their neck is. So what we do a lot of times then, with this, the main is all the way up where I want it. This marriage it's think about perfect. Then I'll do a little grade here, and you can make a straight neck horse look round in his back. This is all of this stuff, obviously it might not be as important for some people if they're just doing sales, but for what we do, these judges are standing, 15 feet away from these horses, so I think everything might follow to make it look the best of it. And I think it's important if you're in the sale ring or whatever you're doing, I would say when we get my haircut to make it look better, we put a harness on them so they can set the bridle better. And look, wear their head better, so why wouldn't we do everything we can to just complete this? So we're gonna hook this mare. And another thing I get a lot of people ask me about, why do I wrap my tugs? There's a lot of saddle trainers out there that tell me it looks stupid, that they would never do it. Um, I just, say that's fine. But so what I do, I go through this first loop, and then I usually, and sometimes, depending on how this cart fits, but with this banner, I'll go through the first loop, I'll go over the top of the shafts, and I'll wrap these twice, at least. Sometimes, depending on the length of your toes, but I like to at least wrap them once. And what it does is it holds this cart in place so much firmer without having to, wrench down on the wounded. Um, if you're in a turn and this cart is shaking down, it's really hard for a horse to trot the turn. So I think this helps a horse trot in itself. There's a lot of times where, say somebody that doesn't show a lot of road horses, I'll be at a horse show and I'll see classes and just stopping them and helping them reorganize their harness and cart situation can change the whole look of the horse just because it's set for something. Like, it's more than just a harness. Like, it is a very, very important part of the whole. Once again, martingale. So what I do, and usually we set all our harnesses at home. If you're going to be using the harness at a horse show, at a sale, on a stallion presentation, we'll set these harnesses at home. If you got to use multiple uh, harnesses or the same harness for multiple horses, we write everything down. So, but most of the time, when my horse is checked up, I want this frame to drop just a little bit, and what that does is when I want them to wear their head a little better, to pick their head up, I'll bounce that bottom, and it actually makes them bounce off of that overcheck and up. Now, a horse that's taught to pull on it isn't going to do that. So that's why we work them low and slow, head left and right to get them loose and around. And I can note that file, and it's like checking them up and chest. But they're not perfect. Then in the turns, and you'll see the very last horse we're going to present today.
None of us are any
He's
help.
got a
We all
half
care.
He
Places
uses
are
emotion a little bit in
here
the
or
turns,
sitting
and
in a restaurant 45
he
minutes
straightens
away.
his neck a little bit, but then he comes
Look
out
at
and
everybody else because everyone else said, I don't care.
so it really helps a horse found it turns, set their head, the martingale, and the same thing. Some horses I'll go in
It's not
between
this is the only one for
best
people,
man
which means that's what we're doing.
with the martingale, others I go through so sometimes you get a horse to really rubber neck. So if I got a horse to rubber neck a lot, I
Actually,
put it
Michigan,
through there.
it's 20 minutes away, so 25 minutes.
So that's just a couple
So what I'm
different things
thinking,
with harnessing.
I'm gonna go to your guys' hotel and check you in first, since I have to do that anyways, and we're opposite drives back. I'm not staying in the same hotel with you, they didn't have enough room.
So any questions on that?
I'm actually a further drive away than you guys are. So if we check in first.
Harness was clean before you went to the show. That's right.
It was clean.
Much
more to that it is. I see a lot, and it all comes down to attention to detail. You're proud of yourself to like you put in the work. It might not feel like it's but someday I promise you, put in the work and you the extra mile and attention to detail. There's days where I worry myself sick from some of the weirdest little things that most people think about. That is just because it's so important when you're showing horses one little jump in the tournament. one wrong move, and you're spending thousands of dollars of other people's money to go perform for 5 minutes at the top of your game. So if you don't check every box at home and make sure it's time and time and time again, it's yeah, it's just not fun. I don't like to be dead last in class and send someone a big bill. So attention to detail, constant, make sure your stuff's clean, organized. When we go to hook a horse, we used to run for 10 different things. Um, when I first started, we started with a checkbooks. After that, like where we go through before we hook that horse, we checked off every box just to make sure we had troops, whip, bridle, gloves, glasses, everything. And it is crazy how much that helped me when it came time to start. Because when I was ready to go, I was relaxed, the horse was relaxed, we weren't running back and forth. And it's that little thing those little things I feel like are what separate me from the rest. So the next thing we're doing, we're bringing 3 horses in. We've got Mary you just saw, Bubbles and Suds. She's a Gucci over there. She won the mare class this year at Liverpool. She's owned by Dave Eiler. She's going to get bred to, not exactly sure which one of the studs is going to breed her to. But she's going home. We're going to be a group mare now. Jasper the Man is the young horse that, or I say young, I'm not even sure how old he is, but we've had him for 6 weeks. And I asked them if I could use him as an example. So don't don't be too hard on him tonight. He's great at this, and he will do this at the level these other horses are doing. We just need a little more time to get him there. And none of these, the other two, the third horse would be Naya Oz. He won the wagon class this year at Louisville. He's a 4-year-old. He's been shown for 2 years. And his first couple of days, he didn't do it right either. So, Jaff was kind of in here as a demonstration horse on, and so that you can see the difference from when we first start to hopefully down the road, you'll be able to see this look a lot different with Jackson. So, maybe at the very end, we'll do one lap where everybody can scream and shout, but first we're going to try to show you a little bit what it looks class actually looks like. So, are you ready? Alright, so we'll have so when these horses enter the ring, they're going to be doing a jog. Another thing that is very important to me, every one of my horses, they have to jog. If you don't have a pretty jog, you can get beat out the gate. As a judge, when I'm learning judging, I judge with the tablet in front of me, but as they come in, I'll get back numbers, and I'll just mentally kind of rate these horses in 3 categories. And then if a horse messes up, I'll do a minus. If he's really good, I'll do a plus. So that is where the jog makes so much of an impact. If they've got a real pretty jog, sitting down on their haunches, looking through the bridle, that is huge. Then we'll do road gate. So the road gate is it's not a speed. I don't like to see them lose form at speed second wave, but first wave for sure, at the road gate, they need to stay hooked up in the bridle, but just show a little bit, just try a little bit harder is basically the best way. Speed to me, as a judge, I'm standing here, and even if I'm looking down here, I'll see from there to here, but I've got 10 horses going, so I can't, up there you can see, well, this horse passed 10 people already, so the judge, a lot of times that doesn't do anything, except hurt the slide, because you're only seeing from here to here. So look the best you can in front of your judge is another very big thing. And I'll go up, you guys can reverse. I'll go up at the start of the horse show, I'll go up and literally watch how the judges judge them. Some judges will watch just in front of them, some of them turn around and watch the other way. But I hear a lot in this industry, amongst the honest people, I hear a lot of people talk about politics. When I first started, I'd get beat, and I'd go buy their videos. Whoever beat me, I'd buy the video and see what they did. But I did. 99% of the time, it's not just politics. It's how you show your voice. So And it's that way with studs or anything. So be aware. Don't make excuses for well this it's his first time on the inside. Well, it's everybody else's first time on the inside. It's everybody else is on the inside. So prepare yourself for the situation you're gonna be in. So step up to the road gate. So once again, at the road gate, we're just asking for a little bit more. Um, Now, we don't like to lose any form at any point in time, but the reality of it is at speed, a lot of times I get a little tired. So you see Jasper here, he's in his turn, Jasper we're working on. So I had to shoot off of this horse until Tuesday because I wanted to get him as quick as I could on his feet before I put the soldiers on. So we're gonna go at speed. You can make a little bit of noise, but if somebody goes, which I think we're on, we're fine. So yeah. So at speed, we're gonna do 2 laps as fast as we can. Um, People encourage them. So if you notice, the speed is no horse. Well, the ears go up. They try a little bit harder. The young horse runs off the speed. Whatever means you can. Just go there. There you go. All right, that's good. So basically, that's what we do. It's very simple. It's very easy. It's a little bit more adrenaline when there's 10 horses in there. There's a lot more traffic to maneuver. But the bottom line is the fastest horse doesn't win. So you can line up and I'm just stand over something. So the fastest horse doesn't always win. So when you're working your horse, don't worry about speed. They move so fast. Worry about form. Worry about maneuverability. Um, that the first horse, that 3-year-old, the next step in his training will be, we'll try to get him to sprint for 40 feet. In a bullpen, 40-foot bullpen from, you know, one rail. We want him to go from all the way slow, all the way fast, and back to slow without losing form. If you can get him to sprint like that, then usually it helps you so much when you go to show. So, any questions on that? Or all right, you're good. You can take another lap showing them the. Yeah, we kept him under. It was just a way to keep him to get him super light. He's naturally got a lot of motion, but I feel like if I put him a little less motion, it's a lot easier to get his quick, get him to hit the right stuff. When you just we just put shoes on Tuesday, and I just open on my foot. Usually, um, these horses go forward. This horse, on the straightaway was absolutely incredible. He just needs to figure out his eye and turn. But um, the main reason I wanted people to stand out here is I want people to see the difference from in here versus up there. You've only seen this much of the rail, this much of the turn. As a judge, you can't just stand here and watch the horse beautiful lap. You have to watch the others because you got to judge from first to 10th. So a lot of times the winner's the winner, especially if there's a 3 judge panel. There is some politics, but not nearly as much as it's practice. I usually say if there's politics involved, person probably did something in the past and goes with it. So.
Well, the person that claims their own politics will never be successful
That's right.
because he doesn't want to learn it. I love those negative people. They have plenty of room at the top.
Yes, yes, it does. So this next thing we're doing, Richard Yoder's coming in here to Chester's horses. It's a Roadster, it's a wagon, and a team. It's a lot of excitement, and I think it's something that, as an industry, if you guys want to breed show horses and want to sell show horses, we need to create more classes for those horses. So these money classes are a great thing, but it's not necessarily designed to sell more road horses. It's a lot of road horses that are out there that are going to those classes. So this is something that I would love to see a group of people get together. If there's 2 people that are breeding, spending money, have studies, pushing this thing, go together, and get a team, do some exhibitions. I think this was a division. Nobody was showing it, but I think it's something that is a good example. The Roadsters have kind of revived himself. So this is a really exciting thing. I wanted everybody to see it. Richard's done a great job. I'm glad Joseph was let him come out here. So we've got Manga. Uh, she won rules. She ran over Hall there, I believe. I think she was by far the most successful Andover Hall we've ever seen. And then Dior. I'm not exactly sure. I left my sheet back there. She gave me the sheet with all the information, but Dior is on the right side, Manga is on the left. Manga is heavy and cold, but once again, once these horses, once you teach them, you don't have to go train on them every day. We don't train on them hardly ever. The first time we hooked the check on Jasper was today. We've had it for 6 weeks. So Manga is a prime example. Richard's been driving her his buggy, and she hasn't been in severe training, but obviously he trains the horses he respects her. So she's not going to lose it. A good horse will be able to do this. So he's going to step it up a little bit to the road gate, and he's going to reverse, and then that's what we're going to get loud for. I think this is going to be all right.
Do you think, Steve, now this is way out, but instead of getting loud, can we sing happy birthday? Let's do that, like, loud, sing it loud. And instead of screaming and yelling, we sing happy birthday to Richard. It is his birthday. He told me he'd like to have a little bit of publicity on that.
Yeah, he called me to make sure we can make it look good. I just don't know what I'm gonna say, but so I think he's gonna show us when he reverses. But this is a very cool thing. It's something that people are gonna get behind. Everybody's gonna like it. Not every trainer's gonna want to do it, but I think if we want to create another division, then guess what? We gotta buy 2 horses. So I'd love to see this be another class at Louisville one day. I think it could be the most exciting thing. He said this is more fun than most people should have, and I will second that. He hasn't let me drive a team, but so right now, same thing with these classes, disc jog, road gate, and then speed. So
Somebody in the ring, run over and pick up, I think there's a phone or something that fell into the ring over by the east side harness thing. You just want to run in and grab that real quick. He's just about running over that. Might not win this one. The way you threw that. When are we supposed to sing happy birthday?
Bring this man straight away.
Hit it, boys!
Happy birthday to you.
That's 4, 5.
So this is where quickness comes in a big way. You see that mare on the left? She's got those turns. She might be a buggy mare, but she didn't forget what she started.
I'd like to get him out so he can breathe again.
That's really cool, Rich. I want to
Good
thank
job, Rich.
Chester for giving us this opportunity. These 2 nice horses. He's done a lot to breed. He's got a great breeding program going on there. So yeah, very important to show us. So the question was, before we show them, how often do we actually show them at home or driving at speed like we show? Very seldom. We'll practice. Want to do a couple more laps of speed? That was a road gate there. I think there's a little more noise. But yeah, we do check them a couple times, but obviously the set harness and stuff, and just to make it complete pressure, but very seldom.
Definitely not up to that. Here, I got it. You can just have a long drive.
We get the horse show.
What?
Alright,
One more cheer, boys.
one more lap and then
Evans and him. Dude, in my mind, I'm just picturing one of those wheels like.
Good job, Richard. Great presentation.
There you go. Open the gate and let go.
So now next we're gonna bring in Dr. Dunn. I think we're gonna play a little video before that happens. So Dr. Dump is the first world champion to win the Louisville as a breeding stuff. We did it with breeding 60 bears last year. What I wanted to show you guys, and I'm not trying to promote this horse. I know we've got him. I feel like he does it for himself, but the reason this horse is so successful is because he loves his job. Every day he works with his ears up. He tries so hard. So I wanted to show you what this looks like. Hopefully it doesn't look tonight because horses still have their age. But when you watch this horse go through the turns versus those other horses that the young horses and a lot of horses that come through this sale. When we get to that turn with him, that's when we start pushing. It is so important to push your horse through the turn versus slow down. Everybody's like, oh, you're getting to the turn, that's when you want to slow down. 3/4 way down the rail is when I get my bridle back, and then I push as hard as I can. Because if you can get those suckers to sit on their haunches and push, they'll stay trapped. You might have to pick them up on the next rail, but that is very crucial for a performance horse if they can go through that turn upright instead of hopping through it and then you come out and you lost the bridle. So this horse is just really good uh, at separating breeding from showing. I'm not advising that to people. He's 9 years old, so he can haul right inside a mare right after he's collected the horse show, but we've done that a couple times. So I would not advise you to show your studs and breed too much. Jasper, they're gonna do a limited amount of breedings this year just so we can focus on training more. But he's a young horse. Doesn't mean that he needs more training. The other 6 horse is 9. We've been working for the last 4 years. He knows the job now. We just had to keep him fit. But it still takes a strong will to be a show horse, to be able to do 60 mares. That's Raymond Shively himself showing. So very fortunate to have Raymond in our program. So I did have somebody ask me, actually forgot. So somebody asked me, when do I know, or when do I start training on one, or what do I have to see to start doing that? I feel like a show horse, it comes down to, I mean, not, when you go to Gordyville sale, and probably half of those, if someone would give you time, they could be show horses. Should they be? Probably not. But I think a show horse will find its way. Enough people know what they're looking for, and it's I look for heart. Everybody has something different. I look for a horse with a big heart, big eye, and one that's happy to do their job. That's got his ears up. That the rest of it underneath, you can teach them if they want to be on. So as far as when I start with one, as soon as I see it, as soon as I see that one thing about him that's just different, I try to find something in every horse that is just unique. And then you figure out the best way to spotlight that, even when you're in children. Gump is obviously the coolest thing that drew me to him was his head, his eye, and his ear. Jasper, the way he can crawl down the rail, look through a bridle, like that's what you want. Now we just got to teach him with that. Very few ever just have a good idea. You got to teach something. You just got to figure out what you're good at teaching.
Somebody might want to grab that sign before we bring in Dr. Gum. Who? Who? Anything to do about it.
You guys can just make a little wall for him here then after she comes in, just so he doesn't try to scoot up that name. So we're just gonna do a lap at the jog. And at the road gate, she wore silks, I asked her to wear silks. So the reason that this started, obviously the racehorses on the track, they're gonna wear their farm colors. The show horse people have kind of got to the point where, she has a set of silks for each horse, what looks good for each horse, or, I'm not exactly sure how she decided what color, but so she has a bunch of different colored silks. So that's what the silks are. There's nothing other than just, it's a way to stand out, it's a way to be noticed and recognized. So, most of her silks are very distinct. So when she comes in the ring, that knows it's Rosemary. So when you see this horse, what I said earlier about how he kind of flattens out in the turn, it's not something you can teach the horse. I guess it's just he's so eager to go down that next rail that he'll kind of lose a little bit of motion in the turns just so that he can sprint down the next rail. I don't wear boots on this horse because he'll grab his elbows. So like I said before, there's no such thing as a roadster. It's just what works for him. And each horse is different. I have 6 ounces of lead in his toe, and he goes in the medium weight shoe with that. I do that with most of them. But once again, they're all different. So when they call for speed, when he's going down a straightaway, you can get it loud. I think you can handle it. He was in there on Saturday night. It gets really loud in there. All right, step on this next straightaway. If you have when she's in her turn, that's when she's swinging at this foot. Ask her a little bit more. If she doesn't slow down at all in those turns, and that's what you need to be a show horse. When they want to go through that turn like that helps you so much. So I believe we might have somebody celebrity here, guys. I just wanted to show people. Is Devin White still here? Oh, yeah. He's not. What about you, Dave? Do you use him for somebody? How about Steven Yoder, who he makes fun of a lot of people all the time. I think we should let him get a try at a world champion and see what he can do. Come on, get down there. I thought this was really funny last week when we did this to Robert.
Yeah. Yep.
Hurry up.
That was like the only thing I was thinking about this whole time.
He's
Like, right. Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. There's no such thing in the show driver. If we get our part right, you're good. No, you won't. But if you do, you will catch the horse. Don't worry about it. Just push it over. So what I like putting other people behind me. We did it at Mount Hope last week. It's when you get a horse this trained, he knows what he's doing. We're just there for, the companion. This horse is trained to a T. He's going in a smooth bit. You can put a kid behind him. You can put anybody you want, and he's going to do his job. So with that being said, we'll get here for a couple of months and then going and driving in your buggy. That's not a bad idea because if you do your job right, they're going to learn what to do. Try to stay all the way up on that rail, Stephen. Go all the way deep. You'll go it. You don't have to turn it. There we go. Awesome. You get one more lap, and I want you to see you go at speed now. Good job. There we go. I like it. All right. Now we're gonna have to figure out a way to stop it. He is now officially a trainer, a professional. Is that fun? So yeah, that's what we got for you. It's not. I hope somebody learned something. Like I said, it's just my opinion. It's our opinion. It's what we do. We don't do anything different. There's nothing special about it. There's a couple of things that we very much stress: is routine. Teach these horses consistently, and we'll be successful. So.